Hi, this is Putin02, and this is my personal tier list for victim characters in TCM. This tier list is coming from someone who has played TCM since launch and has since put in hundreds of hours into the game, so I feel that I have a good understanding on the usefulness of each character. I also plan on posting a family tier list on my channel, so please check that out if you like this video. So without further ado, here's my victim tier list as of the December 2024 update. First up is the S Plus tier. Now, I define the S Plus tier as characters that basically changes the game for the opposing side, in this case family, as the family players must work around the advantages brought on by the victims in this list. As of right now, there's only one victim on this tier, and that is Wyatt. I think we all saw this coming. The moment we discovered that Wyatt could instantly turn off the battery or generator, as well as instantly disabling traps, we knew this character was broken. Add to that the fact that Wyatt could instantly shut off 2 out of the 4 objectives while not needing to invest any attribute points to proficiency or strength is just so powerful. And on top of that, Wyatt's stats are very good, with the only caveat being his horrible stealth. But stealth is considered the worst attribute in the game, so it's hardly a concession. It's no surprise that victim lobbies went back to being horrible shortly after the December 2024 update. And I definitely see his level 3 ability being nerfed in the next update. Next up is the S tier. I define a victim in this tier as someone who puts pressure on the opposing team and can help your team no matter the composition. This may be a surprise to many UTCM players, but I only have one character in S tier, and that's Connie. Connie is in here for 2 reasons. First, she has great access to perks such as Extra Drip, Jumpstart, Bomb Squad, Efficient Locksmith, etc. And secondly, more importantly, Connie's ability to instantly unlock a door is very powerful. In a game where victims spend half the time, if not the majority of time, unlocking doors, having the ability to instantly unlock one can put so much pressure on family. For you family players out there, how many games have you played where you turn your back on a locked door for a minute or two, only to hear the sound of a battery shutting off followed by a Connie escaping? No other victim could do this with such speed, and even if Connie had to well it after unlocking the door, she already managed to spread the family thin, as they now must patrol the area near the unlocked door, or else they risk having several victims slip by. Ask any family player how relieved they get after killing Connie early in the match, and you understand why Connie is on S tier. Alright, A tier is up, and here I have 4 characters. Before I name them, I define A tier characters as those who are helpful to your team, but you must coordinate to get the most out of them. The first 2 I'll be naming share the same purpose, and that's to confront and distract family players. I think most of you know where I'm going with this. It's Anna and Leland. Both of these characters are the most aggressive victims on this tier list, aside from Wyatt, which is why Wyatt is on S tier. He's aggressive and amazing at objectives. Anna's ability to tank hits and Leland's ability to barge can save their fellow victims when things get dicey, and it could mean the difference between a victim completing an objective or unlocking a door. But that's where things get complicated. You have to coordinate with your fellow victims to make the most use out of Anna and Leland. If not, then you're really using these abilities for yourself. Next up in the A tier is Virginia. Virginia is just a solid pick overall, with great attributes, great perks, and a useful ability. Like Anna and Leland, she can use her powder to save herself and her allies from a chase. Nothing more to say here. Virginia is just a great character without being OP. Lastly, there's Danny. I know many UTCM players out there are surprised that I didn't put Danny higher on the tier list, and there's one main reason for this. That is Hands. Hands hard counters Danny to the point where Danny could feel useless to many players, as his main ability can be undone by a family player with the tap of a button. Now, many players watching this could argue that Danny is still very powerful if Hands wasn't in the match, which I agree. If there is no Hands, Danny would be S tier, but I have never seen a game that had a Danny but no Hands. Usually if there's a Danny in the match, then there will be a Hands. As such, Danny's ability to tamper objectives is just not that great. Danny needs to spend time obtaining knowledge, all while putting himself at risk of being caught, and then applying that knowledge to tamper, all for Hands to just rip stall it without much effort. Yes, it's true that the objective is still tampered after being rip stalled, but you have to plan ahead, which isn't that easy when 2 other family players are patrolling the stage. Which is why I refer back to my A tier definition, in that you must coordinate with other fellow victims if you want to make the most out of the characters on this tier list. I still place Danny in A tier rather than lower tiers because he still has solid attributes and perks such as Fast Hands that keeps him relevant even if he can't tamper. Next is B tier. I define characters in B tier as being very situational. They can be useful but only under the right circumstances, and here I have 2 characters. First up is Sunny. Sunny's ability is actually pretty underrated, especially in Family House, as it gives crucial intel on who's nearby. That's where Sunny's pros end though, because what holds him back are his attributes. Let me explain. Sunny has an ability that promotes stealthful play, yet he has very horrible stealth. Sunny also has high strength to confront family members, yet he has the worst toughness in the game, so it's not really worth the risk to go up to a family member and confront them with a close encounter. You need perks to make up for his weaknesses, such as no cell, whereas other victims usually use perks to play on their strengths. Sunny recently received great perks such as no cell, extra drip, and fast hands, but if this list was made before the perk changes, then Sunny would have easily been in C tier. Lastly, on B tier, it's Julie. Julie was unfortunately burned to be the stealthy character in the roster, in a game where stealth is considered the worst attribute. So a lot of her default attribute points are always on her stealth rather than spread through other attributes. Many viewers may come to her defense saying that her ability is fantastic, but I argue it's not as useful as you might think. Her ability can come in clutch for long chases, but these rarely happen since you're usually near a well, no matter where you are in any given map. It may be proof useful against Johnny or Cook's tracking abilities, but again, this is very situational. And finally, we have C tier. I define C tier as characters who aren't entirely helpful and at times can hurt your team. There isn't much suspense as you all know who's left. It's Maria. Yep, that's right. It sucks because Maria is such a huge character in the story, yet her ability is pretty underwhelming. First of all, Maria has to put herself in a very vulnerable position to even use her sweet talk ability. Additionally, anytime Maria spends sneaking her way toward the center of the map just to sweet talk Grandpa, that could be time that could be used to unlock a door or work on an objective, all for just a single free sonar screen, unless you opt in for an additional sonar screen at level 3. It's just not worth the risk, and like I mentioned, this puts Maria at risk, which could ultimately lead to her death, which in turn hurts her team. And there you have it, my tier list for all the victims on TCM. Do you agree with my opinions? Please let me know if you agree or disagree down in the comment section. I'm curious what others think and why. I might make a follow-up response to several comments if enough content warrants it, but we'll see. We'll see what the response is. Thank you all for watching and have a good one.